I am back, guys. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Hannah Robinson. I am a 23-year-old content creator who lives in Philadelphia, focusing on fashion, beauty, and lifestyle. And for those of you who do know me, know that I have not posted anything on YouTube in 5 years. So my last video was actually when I got back from Spain and Italy. And then the video before that was my trip to Paris, Amsterdam, and London. For my senior trip, instead of going to Disney, I decided to visit my cousin in London, and then we went to Paris and Amsterdam as well. And then, after I graduated, I was supposed to spend a month in Spain with a host family, and I was going to practice my Spanish. However, last minute, they decided to cancel on me, and I had a non-refundable plane ticket to Spain. I asked so many people to come to Spain with me to spend a month there, and pretty much everyone said no. Please come to Spain with me. I cannot be there alone for a month. And everyone was like, we are 18 years old, Hannah. And no one was saying yes. Like, no one. I was thinking that I wasn't going to be able to go. So Memorial Day weekend 2017, I was with a bunch of friends and friends of friends, and I kind of just threw it out there like, hey, does anyone want to go to Spain with me? I threw it out there to 3 boys, 2 of which I met multiple times I was friends with, and one of the guys I met twice prior to this, and one of the times I didn't even talk to him. It was just like I saw him. So all 3 guys told me that they would come with me, and I was like, okay, well, get your passport. One of the guys actually did get their passport. They got it expedited, and they actually did come. So by the time we did leave for Spain, we met 4 times. And instead of just staying in Spain, we actually backpacked through Spain and Italy. His name was John. We kind of agreed beforehand, like, you know, obviously, like, I'm a girl, you're a guy, like, we're not getting into this, like, it's not gonna be a thing. And then when we got there, it was a thing. So yeah, that happened. We got to know each other for a month and spent an entire month together and fell in love in Spain and Italy, and we've been together ever since, 5 years later. We went in June and July to Spain and Italy, and then in September I started college at Rutgers University. And my major was biology, and I was pre-med, and I was the most determined person ever. I would say my dad is a very competitive person, and my mom always told me I was smart. So naturally, I just chose the most difficult major to prove to myself and to my parents that I'm smart. Looking back, I'm like, why did I do that? I don't know. That's what I thought I wanted, but I told myself every single day that that's what I wanted. I wanted to be a doctor. In college, work is extremely hard, and if you think for a second, I don't want to do this, you're gonna drop out, to be honest. You have to wake up every single day, look in the mirror, and say, I want this, in order to finish school, especially as a pre-med major. It's hard and it's competitive, and you're constantly comparing yourself to people. It is an extremely difficult and mentally challenging major. So I was working as a hairstylist while I was in college, also volunteering in a hospital over the summers. There was creepy old men thinking I was their nurse, and like just saying really inappropriate things to me. I was volunteering at this hospital since I was probably 15 years old. At the salon, guys would come in after mowing their lawn with their hair wet from sweat. And they just would like laugh and be like, oh yeah, I just, you know, mowed my grass and mowed my lawn, but it doesn't really matter because you're washing my hair anyway. So just the overall realization that people can be very dirty and will degrade you, I kind of realized maybe working with people is not something that I honestly want to do. I sat down and I was like, all right, so what's next? Like, I'm already on the pre-med track. I decided, okay, I'll be a vet. I went to my academic advisor and I declared a minor in animal sciences. And pretty much all of the classes are the same for pre-med and pre-vet, except I think that most vet schools require biochemistry and medical school doesn't always require biochemistry. I took biochemistry, however. So that was my new plan, and it made me graduate a semester late because of it. And again, I woke up every single morning telling myself that this is what I wanted. Vet school is actually more competitive than medical school, believe it or not, because there's no vet schools in New Jersey. So I would be fighting for an out-of-state spot, which is extremely difficult unless I wanted to develop residency in another state. before applying to that school. So I really tried weighing my options and seeing, like, is this something I really like want to go through with? So I talked to vets who had private practices, who were overseers of animal research, and I also talked to my animal science professor who was planning on becoming a vet but decided to get her PhD in animal science instead. All of them told me, do not become a vet unless you can't see yourself doing anything else. If you can see yourself doing anything else, do that instead. And I'm just like, well, now what? You know? Not only that, they also told me that you're gonna have to take loans out to live. You're going to be working nonstop, no time for another job. They told me that the career with the highest suicide rate is actually vets and vet techs. So someone who struggled with her mental health throughout college, I was like, I'm finally just starting to feel mentally stable. So to put all this work into myself and then choose a career that is just gonna knock me back down, I don't know if this is what I want either. What now? I don't know what to do now. What can I do with this degree other than vet and med school? I mean, I'm not interested in dentistry. I'm not interested in becoming a PA. I'm not interested in becoming a professor. So I'm thinking I want to become a scientist and I want to do laboratory research because it could marry my passion for science as well as animals. It was a little difficult on me ethically because I feel as though it would just take one person to tell me what I'm doing is wrong and I would cry. However, I woke up every single day telling myself that that's what I wanted. I took laboratory animal practicum and it was really hard. You become desensitized to the animals, which is an extremely hard thing to admit to yourself. But you wake up every day telling yourself that this is what I want and this is what I need. I finally landed an internship the summer before the last semester of my undergraduate degree, which was the best experience I have ever had because it was the worst experience I ever had. I was planning on going to graduate school and getting my PhD. It was brutal. It was so miserable. I mean, it sucked the creativity, my femininity, my will and desire to want to learn more, my love for science, and I was struggling at the fact that I put all of my eggs in one basket thinking that this is exactly what I wanted, and it wasn't. Not to mention, I was driving an hour and a half each way, each day, to go to this internship that I didn't want to be at all. I was reading papers that I did not understand from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. every single day. And when I wasn't doing that, I was killing mice and dissecting their ovaries and mouth pipetting the follicles, putting them in dishes and then putting a hormone in it that allows them to grow, and then when they're done growing, you image them. So it was just the same thing all the time, every day. And I'm just like, this is going to be the next 4 years of my life. I don't know if I can do this either. And I'm honestly not a very indecisive person, even though it might seem that way. I just really try to prioritize my mental health, and I don't want to put myself in situations that I'm not happy in. So once again, I asked the PhD students and I asked the postdoc students, are you happy doing this? Like, how's your mental health? And they laughed at me. They legit laughed at me and told me, are you joking? Like, it's a given that PhD students are all depressed. They pretty much live in the lab. They have no social life outside of the lab, and that their PI just makes them feel like crap all the time. And it wasn't just the people in my lab, it was the people in other labs, people that didn't even study at the same university as me. Now I'm like, great, great. This is great. This is really great because I have no other option. I really have no clue what I'm gonna do with this degree. And you never, ever, ever feel like you're doing enough, ever. And that was the feeling I had when I was in school. I never felt like I was studying enough. I felt like if I just put more time in, I could have gotten a couple points higher in my grade. it's exhausting to feel like you're never doing enough, but you're doing the best you can. So to take a career doing that, it's not a great idea. And the most defeating thing of it all was if I were to get a job and work for the doctor who I am researching under, I would get paid $14 an hour. But if I were to work at the sandwich shop down the street from me, that is a 2-minute walk versus an hour and a half each way, I'd get paid $15 an hour. Literally at this internship, if I used one more brain cell, I would have just probably collapsed. Now I'm like, what am I going to do, you know? The last semester of college, like, you know, I'm not convincing myself every single day that this is what I want anymore. But what I wanted was to graduate and just finish this. So that was my new motivation, just to get this done so I didn't have to do it anymore. Right before I started the internship, I actually moved to Philadelphia. And I think that if I still lived at home, I probably would have accepted the internship and accepted that this is probably what I'm gonna do. However, moving to the city and realizing that you can do things that are creative and still make money from it. You know, where I'm from, you don't really know that there's more that you can go to school for than things that have a dead set outcome, if that makes sense. So like more like programs like nursing, accounting, a vet tech, like things like marketing and advertising and media and a lot of the arts is like not something that people where I'm from really value or think that you can make money doing it. I think success is kind of measured by like having your own construction company or working in the union and having a job that has benefits. That's what is prioritized in my hometown. I did grow a lot while I was in college, but I just didn't see outside of the direct outcome of college. But once I moved to Philly, I realized there's such a need for more. Other things are prioritized besides like construction and certificate programs. Like once I moved to Philly, my wheels started really turning. And I posted something on Instagram like this picture so I can become an influencer and never have to get a real job, which is kind of offensive now that I'm thinking of it because influencing is a real job. This one girl I went to high school with was like, I support you and I could totally see you doing this. She like is the reason why I really started doing this because it's like if I have one person who isn't even that close to me saying that they support me and believe I can do it, like, oh my God, why not? Like, why not? I could do this while I'm searching for a different job and figuring things out. I could do this on the side. I just spent the last 2 months of school nonstop researching about what I need to do to become an influencer. I go above and beyond every single thing I do, and I have an education that constantly pushed me to my mental breaking point. So I can go this hard when it comes to social media. Like, why can't I? You know, I have the drive and the discipline to do this. And honestly, I didn't even like myself. Like, I was not confident. I did not like my body. I mean, there was a period where like I wouldn't even look in the mirror or let anyone take pictures of me. But I just did it. I literally just did it. Every single day, I went through a period for a couple weeks, I would take pictures of myself and practice posing. I built my portfolio and took pictures for 2 months. So the second I graduated, I started reaching out to brands and I had this portfolio. And not too long after, I was getting brand deals. I just couldn't even believe that I was doing it. I was like, I did it. Like, this isn't luck. This is research, dedication. This is a science behind this. Anyone can do it, but people think that it's so unimaginable that they don't try. But like, you can do this. Like, go on TikTok and learn. Like, I learned everything on TikTok. My confidence is so much better. I like myself now. Like, I'm proud of myself. Like, hardly ever felt proud of myself in school. Besides realizing that what I want to do is content creation, I got another dog. I've been back to Europe maybe 3 or 4 times. I have my graduation on the 15th of this month, and for once in my life, Since I've been maybe 13, I'm genuinely happy. I took so much pressure off of myself, and I embrace the unknown and unexpected now, instead of being so uptight and trying to figure everything out and have this plan. My whole life, all I wanted to know was exactly what's going to happen. But I think it's so much scarier to know what the rest of your life is going to look like and planned out than to not know it all. 18-year-old me would not recognize who I am now. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm proud of all the work that I put into myself. So yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. It's been an emotional and mentally challenging journey, and I am a completely different person than the last time I made a YouTube video, but I'm happy and I'm thriving, and I just want everyone to know that it's okay to not know, and embrace it, and understand that you literally have the rest of your life to figure it out. All you need to do is pay your bills. You think life is so much more difficult than it really is. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm gonna be doing YouTube now, so it'd be cool if like you liked this or subscribed. I actually don't really know how YouTube works, so I'm just gonna post videos. Yeah, that's today's video. I hope that you liked hearing about my mess of a life, and yeah, I'll be back soon.